Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and people of all ages, it is Sunday night, which means we are back with the iGPFun Super Formula Light Season 2 of 2025, and we're at round 1 from Suzuka. I am James Barber, going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Tom Cairns, and let's bring you up the schedule. Well, it's going to be an exciting one here this season alone, I can tell you now. This week, it's Suzuka, then we've got Algarve, Portimao, Road America, Hungaroring, Motegi, Hockenheim, Phillip Island, Nürburgring, Magny-Cours, Silverstone, and then Bathurst, Mount Panorama, Spa, and then on June the 15th, we've got our Formula Giving charity race this season as well. The track itself, well, it is a track that everybody should know and one that people can enjoy, and we're going to hurtle around here for 26 laps. 26 laps. Purple zone runs all the way around down into Degner 2, so as soon as they come out of Degner 2 they can actively overtake. It's no active overtakes up until then, but let's bring Tom into the booth. Tom, welcome in. How are you?
Hello James, hello to everyone. Yes, we are here at Suzuka, the land of the rising sun of Japan. There is the famous Ferris wheel at the side of the circuit, and I really can't wait for this new season to get underway, James, because I think we've got a lot of top quality drivers, including the likes of Simon Fessi, finished third in the championship last season. He did very, very well. And I don't think Lee Aberdeen is around tonight as far as I'm aware. No, so we could well see we're going to see someone different taking victory tonight. The question is, who will that be? Yeah,
exactly. We haven't got Lee Aberdeen. We haven't got Jesper Sandström here either taking to the starting group. We've got 31 cars on the line at the moment. Jakob Oleszewski's back. Jimenez, Cornu, Flint, Fessi, Ransom, Varani, Baden, Iron is also here as well, and a few others. We've got Maxim Victors, who is new out on the racetrack here this time round, and he's sitting in pole position for the opening race of the season. Paul Distilli is the only other new driver that I can see. I think everybody else we've already had here for a season and maybe a little bit more. Scott Taylor, actually, I think is the only other new one that's out here at the moment, but we'll keep an eye out, see how these drivers get on at this very difficult circuit. They've got 3.608 miles, 5.807, and they've got corners to master of the famous 130R down into Casio Triangle. How's that one going to work out? Well, we're going to find out very, very shortly. Main overtakes place at Suzuka. Tom, where are we looking?
You're probably looking at turn 1. You're probably looking also at 130R, which is the corner before the Casio Triangle, or maybe even the Casio Triangle if you don't get the move done at 130R. Maybe even into Spoon if you're lucky. But I would probably say turn 1 is your most designated spot to get the passing done.
Yeah, absolutely right. We're just going to wait for them to finish off before we can go into qualifying. Welcome in if you are here. Don't forget to say hi. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, turn on the bells, and all the other fancy jazz that you can do for absolutely free. We're just waiting for a few other drivers to finish off their laps during qualifying. Luca Varani out on the racetrack, finished 4th last season. Well, hopefully he'll be able to do better and take that championship that has eluded him for as long as I can remember. But let's bring you up the grid for round number 1. Maxim Victors takes pole position with Jakob Oleszewski in 2nd. Tony Jimenez sits in 3rd with Danny Cornu in 4th. Kenzie Neuhoff is back in 5th. Andy Flint, Simon Fessi, Ludovic Rancon, Luca Varani and Baden Ayan rounding out the top 10. Then we've got Richard Van Veen and Robert Ridgway in 12th. Jonathan Cazorla, Leonard Cherry and Mehmet Taski rounding out the top 15 with Adam Townsman, Stefan Dodderer, Carlos Ferrero, Luis Bela and Ngayan rounding out the top 20. Then we've got Giovanni Salito, Ben Goya, Eddie Amos and Austin Baldwin, who's another new driver this season, down in 24th. Scott Taylor, another new one with Clark Williams, Theodore Tomov, Oscar Artinano, Patrick Rowland, Sean Postfer and Paul Distilli at the end of the grid in 31st. 31 cars taken to the racetrack here. Tom, surely they're all going to get through turn 1 cleanly, right?
They should do, and it's very, very misty, it has to be said, over in Suzuka, which, to be fair, is not unusual because we know what the Japanese weather can produce for racing like this one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see how Maxim Victors gets on his debut in this championship. He looks solidly quick. from what we've seen in qualifying. Can he convert his pole position into the flag? I believe there are 2 drop scores across the whole season, James, just as it was last season. So even if you don't get off to the best of starts here, it could count as a drop score later in the campaign.
Yeah, it could do. Lap 1 of 26 is sitting on the grid. We're waiting to go. Samantha Maffey, good luck on a new season. Thanks so much. Well, it's not for me. I'm not out on the racetrack, Samantha, to be blatantly honest. It's all of these drivers lined up who can barely see a thing here this evening, because as you say, it is very, very misty out on the racetrack. Just waiting for Austin Baldwin, who's got about 6 seconds to get out onto the grid. If he doesn't make the grid, then he will start from pit lane. It looks like he has just made it, so the lights are going to be coming on. Don't forget, no active overtakes till Degner 2. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Ladies and gentlemen, season 2 of 2025, round 1. Here's green, green, green. Max's Victors does get the jump at the beginning. Jakub Oleszewski there. Kenzie Neuhoff's overtaking Denny Cornu. I'm wondering if he's going to allow Cornu to come back through, which he does do there as well. Robert Ridgway is overtaking Van Veen. Cherry's overtaking Townsma. I'm sure these will settle back down, but Clark Williams there. Austin Baldwin down 7 places. He's coming out of pit lane, so unfortunately for Austin, he did miss the start. But at the moment, it's Max Victors who takes the lead here this evening, and he's got a few more corners to go before he can make it around Degner 2. In fact, he's coming into Degner 1 right now. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the racing cameras in, the overtaking can be active, and it is all up and running, and it is green, green, green across the board. Max Victors now, the difference is here, Tom, he's done what he had to do. He got out, whoa, how did you end up facing the wrong way?
He's caught the curb on the exit. Yeah, he's caught the curb on the exit, and that's what threw him into the wall, unfortunately, for Kenzie Neuhoff. And so that's him off to the worst possible start to the new season. In contrast, Maxim Victors doing what he needed to do. No mistakes throughout sector 1 up until Degner 2, and he looks to pull away from Jakub Oleszewski as Tony Jimenez looks to give chase. We were looking at Ludwig Ransson running in P7, chasing after his compatriot Simon Fessi, who has had a really solid campaign last season, including the victory he picked up in Montreal, and he's looking to make it even better this season in regards to the consistency, as we watch Ransom watch Fessi attempt to make an overtake on Andy Flint, who hopes to improve from last season as well. Here we have the Cassia Triangle chicane, James. 1 lap completed.
Yeah, you can see Flint's a bit of a cork in the bottle at the moment. He's 1.6 seconds back. Fastest lap, of course, for Victors. We have already on lap 1. But what is Fessi going to be able to do here? Is he going to pull out and have a go at Andy Flint? He is. There goes Flint on the left-hand side. Here goes Simon Fessi through turn 1. Job done. Clark Williams been off track. Mehmet Taski been off track as well. Stefan Dodderer has been off and back on again. What tyres is everyone on? They are on dries. Now, I will tell you that during practice, it was a little bit raining. During qualifying, there was dusts of rain, but now it seems to be dry for the race. So that's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye out on the weather. It's been a little bit hit and miss at the moment, as Baird Aon currently has got Andy Flint now in front of him, and Flint lost a place to Barani, Ranson and Simon Fessi there. He must have gone off the side of the circuit. I believe it might have started here for Andy Flint. How did he lose so much time? He runs wide.
Yeah, he was offline into 1 and then put him off guard into 2, and that just allowed the likes of Ranson and Barani to follow suit. Clark Williams, I believe, has been in the wars as well, James, or at least he's well down the order, because he's down in last place. I don't know if we can get a replay of what's happened to him. But so far, it's a relatively clean start for the drivers, just settling into a rhythm. And I'm really looking forward to see how the weather plays out. In fact, do you have the weather forecast, James, just to answer people's questions there?
Well, it's
Are we expecting?
It's about, at the moment, 21 degrees out, Jack. It is dry, but it is slightly overcast. Now, whether or not that comes in and kicks in for rain, but then we have seen it before where it can rain on lap 12 and they can go right to 31 without changing tyres. So it's going to be a little bit hit and miss at the moment. Jakub Oleszewski is going to get overtaken the same way that that he overtook Max, by the looks of it. Then Max is on the outside, on the right-hand side there. Does he get Jakub Oleszewski? He doesn't. That was stemmed from earlier on, where they did overtake. And you can see Oleszewski going off the side of the circuit and spinning the car down in turn 1 for Jakub Oleszewski. Unfortunately for him, is dropping down the order, and that is one way to throw away a lead.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really poor mistake there for Olszewski, just going for a move which he thought he got done there, but he actually lost it by himself. There was no contacts involved there. Olszewski was just a little bit too greedy on the throttle. It's not a braking zone, his third turn, so you can just ease off the throttle and allow the car to flow through the apex. But now Olszewski was just too early on the power there, and he's paid the price for it. It's now down to 12th position behind Leonard O'Sherry, and so he has some work to do from there. It is a 26-lap race. There's no mandatory pit stops involved. It is essentially a sprint from lights to flag. But now we're on board with Tony Jimenez, who looks to battle it out with Max Invictus for the lead.
Yeah, he does at the moment. Into Spoon, they go round the left-hander, looping left-hander, gone looking for a late apex. There it is. Let the car open it up all the way out. There you go, Tony. Great run from Jimenez there. He's now got to just use the draft. He's pulling out of the draft at the moment. Be interested to see if Invictus gives it to him. Well, he kind of does. He hasn't got really much of a choice. Jimenez in through 130R now. He's going to look at the inside. Is he? No. Invictus sends him on the outside line. It's going to be neck and neck, toe to toe. Are they going to run too wide? No. Invictus shuts the door. Oh, Jimenez, careful. There is that disconnect flag this time in iRacing. You want to be a little bit more careful of that. But is Denny Cornu going to get the run? I'm going to go on board because it's foggy as hell at the moment. And you can see Tony Jimenez going up the inside of Invictus there. Job done for Jimenez. Invictus down to second. Yeah, got to be careful. That's one of the things we've got to mention is the new disconnect system. If you blink too many times, you get a flag, a disconnection flag that puts you straight back into pit lane. It's kind of the way to battle people blinking all over the racetrack.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. We've got retirements as well, James, including Olszewski, who's spun round again. Gazola and Donner have also been in there, and I think we've had a separate incident involving Kenzie Niehoff and Leonard O'Sherry. So drivers are getting a little bit, not reckless, but just a little bit carried away at the moment. But Olszewski's, well,
he's already broke.
In fact, the rear wing's already gone, James. I think his rear wing had already gone from somewhere. So he's had an incident with the wall or with someone. And yeah, that's him back into pit lane. We're going to get a replay to find out. Well, this is the earlier spin from when he got by Max Invictus. And yeah, he goes by at turn 2, but it's further on round in the lap where he's, well, he's not backed it into the wall there. I would say it's round about where the hairpin is or where Spoon is, where he's had an incident with someone, James. So that might be something to try and find if you can.
I am, but I don't actually know. Oh, it's there. Because there's Cazorla, there's whatever's happened is there. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, guys, we're on a bit of a hunt for a mission. There it is. I think there's more of an incident than we can see there. I think this might be it here. Jonathan Cazorla. Oh,
there
we go.
Yeah, and Stefan Dunnery got involved in that, which caused his retirement. So I want to know who actually tangled with Olszewski there on the exit, because it was like a yellow livery machine of which came together with it. There is... Right, what's that?
Looks like a new driver's livery. I don't recognise who that would be. Not Scott Taylor. That's going to take me a little bit of a while to figure that one out. It's not Baldwin either. I wonder if is it Ferrero? Maybe did Ferrero run him over? Nope, it wasn't Ferrero either. The only other one it could be is Cazorla, but it's not Cazorla at the same time, that. Is it one of the ones? Leonard Cherry.
Yeah.
Cherry. Run him over. Unfortunately for him, that's and put their man Olszewski back in pit lane. Robert Ridgway and Baird and Aeon, a little bit rank on, and Andy Flint. Again, Flint, a little bit of a cork in the bottle here.
Yeah, so Flint just carrying on his way in 6th position. Luca Ferrani up to 5th. Through all the mayhem we've had. Denny Cornu, I have to say, it's up into 2nd place now with Max Invictus dropping down to 3rd. So Invictus beginning to struggle as the race continues as it is. So we're now on lap number 5 of the race, approaching the end of the lap. But so far so good for Tony Jimenez, who looks to build on this performance. There is Tusky, who is right behind Adam Talsman for 12th position. Hopefully they'll keep it clean through 130R. We don't want any incidents around this part of the circuit, especially with how light these cars are. Tusky goes to the inside of Moose, but just pops back in. I think that's probably the most sensible thing to do.
Yeah, he's got to look at a run down into Casio. Is he going to have a go at Townsma here as well? I'm a bit upset Tusky's got rid of the Williams livery. I think he was in, or was he in the Ferrari? I can't remember which one he was last season. And unfortunately, it looks like he has got rid of that. So I'm not overly impressed by that one. But there we go. It is what it is. But we've got some still battles taking shape at the same time. Paul Distilly, the new guy, up 9 places with Sean Pulsifer in front of him at the moment. Sean there with crows on his car. We've had plenty of DMs where we've been talking about his livery initially on that one, but Sean sitting down in 21st, up 9 places, Scott Pepsi. So you'll be happy to know your man is climbing up through the field, but he has got Distilly alongside him. These guys are fighting out through the S's. Distilly there on board, going to jump onto the robot. Now he's going to go left. This is going to be really where the tricky pit lies. Now he's got to get the run out of Dunlop, leave the curb alone on the outside. Yes. Now coming into Degner 1 and 2, we'll just show you how fast they actually go through the Degner 1. You can see at the moment they're topping north at 200 kilometers an hour, hard on the brakes, down through the gears, down to 140. So they drop 60 kilometers an hour going through Degners 1 and 2, which is absolutely mad speed, Tom, when you come to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Distilly just looking to see if there's a gap to go through there on Pulsifer. And Tony Jimenez has been on the margin 1.1 seconds out in front. There is a 4-car battle though, James, for 5th position involving Ferrari, Flint, Ranson and Ayan, and Distilly looking to find a gap there, but no way through. This is Flint then on the tail of Luca Ferrari as they dice it out for 5th position. Watch out for Ludovic Ranson, who we know is a great fighter himself. We've seen it time and time again in this championship. A new fast up of the race from Tony Jimenez, who continues to build his lead gradually. And as they cross over the line, heading down towards turn number 1, not quite close enough yet for Andy Flynn.
Oh, something's gone on back here, further back though, because I can tell you what, where did Robert Ridgway, there he is, for Ridgway, did he clear? I'm a little bit confused because there was a big flick in the timing tower then. Robert
It's
Ridgway,
Ayan.
Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? Ayan's had a problem, or some sort of problem.
It was the connection issue, I think, James, where I think Ayan had kept flicking. I can just see all the flicks of debris there, which is something we often see.
Yeah, that's Ayan coming back in. That's the software having a bit of a meltdown with Ben and Ayan. He's going to have to be a little bit careful. Ranson, Flynn and Barani. I'm going to see whether or not Flint is going to have a go here. Simon Fessy, however, is closing in on Max Invictus, and we are a little bit right. As this race has gone on, Max has kind of lost more and more positions.
Yeah, and he could well be losing another one in a moment, because Simon Fessy is looking very, very feisty as this race continues as it's doing. And he's close enough almost, but he won't want to do it into 130R. He'll probably wait until the exit of the Casio Triangle to get into the switch and go for it into turn number 1. Those are all bits of, I don't know if that's leaves or whether that's just the game having its moments there. But Fessy on the tail of Invictus coming out of the Casio Triangle. Is he within range to attack? I don't think he is, James.
No, he's not at the moment, but he will get the run now. He's going to get the run on Invictus going into turn 1. Depends on how brave Fessy's going to be here. Is he going to... Oh, bro! Whoa! Dude, that was a match for Staffen. I'm going to move late in the braking zone move. That could have been a lot worse. Invictus, you got away with that one, son, but you wouldn't want to keep doing that with the likes of Fessy or anybody else in behind you, because they will just straight flat run you over. That was late, Tom, and that was very, very dangerous.
Yeah, it was late, but I think it was just before the braking zone. Well, there's no braking zone, to be fair, for turn 1, because you don't brake. But Andy Flint's dropped back, James. He's had an issue somewhere, or he's had a moment. He was running in 6th position behind Luca Ferrari. He's now dropped down to 11th spot. So he's continues to drop down even more. So we're going to find out. Oh, he's gone well off the track, actually, is Flint, and he's trying to rejoin without causing too much trouble. That is a bizarre way of rejoining. There was another car that spun round, James, behind Andy Flynn.
His tyres broke. The front right sparking his head off.
He's got a puncture.
Yeah, I wonder if that's flat. and that's why he ended up going where he went. This is the first time I've ever seen a puncher in here, but was there contact? There was.
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah, that's the reason why Flint got the puncher in the first place. So who was that was coming alongside? Was that Bahindin Iron that came across him?
No,
Or was it Ludovic Ranson?
Ranson alongside. And it looks like they've had some form of drama. No. Watch Flint's front right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at that. That is the biggest dose of Tinternet I've ever seen in my life. That was insane. That was insane. But the sparks look good off Andy Flint's car, didn't they?
Yeah, it is. And he won't be too pleased with that though, will Andy Flint. I'd like to see the Wars contact though as he continues to drop down the order. At least he makes it back to the pit lane instead of just going via the menu to go back into the pit lane for Andy Flint. Although he's got himself a lot of work to do from where he is now, but at least he's got some battling to do with the likes of Dodder and Consola because they're trying to make up for lost time. There's Andy Flint getting back into the pit lane.
Yeah, it definitely is. He's managed to make it there. It's a fair play, but has he got any damage further than that, of course? Robert Ridgway and Richard Van Veen. Ridgway Racing Setups and Van Veen from MRP battling it out with Loris Bella 4 seconds behind, but in front of Ridgway is Rancon. And is he going to be able to get away from these guys? That's something we're going to keep an eye on at the same time. Fessy is now closing in on Denny Cornu, but he's got Max Invictus, who is not giving this up yet, Tom, but has struggled, looks like, in this early part of the race.
Fessy struggled out onto the curb. He went so heavy on it, and that's upset the rhythm of the machine, and Invictus is within play to try and get that place back. Invictus coming back into play a little bit. Fessy beginning to struggle by the looks of it. But let's not rule out Luca Ferrari just yet, even though he's a few seconds behind us. Bohidin Ayan is continuing to have connection issues. He's in 6th place still, but he won't want to be doing that too many times.
No, definitely not. Invictus now under attack from... Whoa. Who's going down the... Ayan's going down again.
Yep. He's gone through the Casco Triangle chicane by the looks of it. I want to see what's happened because...
you see, yeah, that's about as much as I saw. Obviously, he's got his blinking connection issue.
Oh, he's yeah. As the car was already going before he caught the curb on the outside, and that's what threw the car around for Bayadin Iron. And Tony Jimenez still leading though, 1.3 seconds in front over Denny Cornu. There's Clark Williams, who's continuing to have his own melodies, dropping down the order. This is Kenzie Newhoff, who's had an eventful race so far, not for the right reasons. That was a clean overtake actually into 130. Oh, there's Lino Sherry, who has already been in the wars today. This is the corner where he came together with... he's gone into the barrier big time there.
The absolute Nora was that. That is either a very loose car or that's just Cherry turned it. Seems a bit bizarre for me, I think, from this one. Max and Victor's behind Simon Fessy. That was a very bizarre move. Not one that we've generally seen. Go, Sean, go! Zogo plays in YouTube chat as well. Sean is currently down in 22nd. Up 8 places, though, mind you.
Yeah, so a decent job from Sean Posfer so far, keeping himself out of trouble. Hopefully that will stay that way all the way to the end. Kenzie Newhoff is coming back through the field, actually, thinking of it. After that spin on that one, he's in 20th place now behind Austin Baldwin. Don't know how far he's behind him. Just looking on the timing pages, he's actually 9 seconds off him, so he's got some time to make up at the present moment. Max Invictus, is he closer than last time? Thinking about it on Simon Fessy. Fessy changed direction twice and he's now changed direction again, although Invictus wasn't really close enough to attack, so I think Fessy will get away with that one. But yeah, he just needs to watch his change of direction on the straight a little bit there for Simon Fessy. But Invictus, how would you sum up his race so far? Because it was a strong beginning and then he fell away as the race has thickened.
This is the only man I know within 11 laps has had more ups and downs than a Blackpool roller coaster. You know what I mean? It's been up, it's been down, and now, unfortunately, he's down again. He just can't move forward. He needed to be a little bit careful with moving it very late on that. Ooh! Oh, and that is not going to help. Dude.
No, and
and that's the end of that, isn't it?
Yeah, that was almost a Code Brown moment there for Max Invictus as he continues on. Richard Van Veen in 8th position behind the 7th place man. That'll be Rob Ridgway, who is defending for his life right now. He's having a solid race of it. Andy Flint with the new fastest up of the race so far on his fresh set of rubber. So he'll be hoping to use that to his advantage. He's behind Carlos Barrow, who's another, how far is he up ahead? He's like another 11 seconds up the road from Flint. So Flint has got to get some, he's got to make up some ground really in such a short space of time. But this is a nice battle brewing here between Ridgway and Van Veen, and I wonder if Van Veen may send one to the outside. It'll be a very daft attempt to do it into 130R because you don't often see overtakes on unless you are completely alongside, and Van Veen decides to hold back for the time being.
Yeah, he definitely does at the moment. For how long? That's going to be the question, because although Ridgway, you know, is out there, he's up 5 places, and that could be due to the fact he fast keeping it on the track. Fastest lap 48.911 from Fessy there. Rob Ridgway 49.759, just done his personal best for Rob Ridgway. So where is he in conjunction with the guy behind? Well, he's Veen. Ridgway, Veen was quicker on 8, 10 and 7. Ridgway was quicker on 9 and 11. Not by much though, but you can see the battle's further down as well. I think this is a free wide scenario. Ben Goyette, it was a free wide scenario with these guys, Scotty Taylor, Ben Goyette and Eddie Amos. And let's have a look back and see, there you go. And then Eddie's like, nah, I don't want to get involved in that one, and I'm going to back out, which is probably the right thing to do, to be blatantly honest with you. But then all of a sudden, Patrick Rowlands straight in pit lane.
Yeah, not good there for Patrick Rowlands, so we'll find out what happened. And in fact, Eddie Amos had a
he's going to mount Eddie.
Oh, that's a big accident there between Eddie Amos and Patrick Rowlands, who has gone barrel rolling. So Eddie Amos spins first, and Rowlands just had nowhere to go at that point.
I think he shoots himself so quick, he actually goes over the fence. Up, over, yeah. He literally exits the track and then appears back in pit lane for Rowlands. So although it looked absolutely spectacular, it was very short-lived because he just went straight up in the air. Watch. You're going to catch it. There you go. Over and over and over the fence, gone. So there you go. See you later on that one. For poor old Eddie, he ended up back in pit lane whether he wanted to or not there.
Well, at least he's back in pit lane now anyway. I don't know whether he will return to the circuit in the near future. But we are seeing a few overtakes happening. That was a great overtake actually from Scott Taylor on Ben Goyette down at turn 2. And so he'll be hoping to make more inroads as the race goes on. Rob Ridgway in 7th place ahead of Richard Van Veen still. Bahadin Iron is running in 9th. And Loris Baylor, who have not really spoken too much about in this race, up 9 positions from his starting place in 10th position. Scott Taylor now up 11 positions to 14th from 25th on the grid.
Yeah, we've got to give a shout out to Oscar Artinano. He's up 12 places, the biggest gainer out of the whole. Oh no, he's not, because Distelli's there as well, so fair play to both of them. Tomarov's jumped back to pit lane, so whatever he did, it was terminal. There's somebody off on the left hand side. That's Olezwinski again. So poor old Jakob is not having a good time, and yeah, not too clever for Jakob Olezwinski at this moment in time there, Tom. And unfortunately for him, he's dropped down the order. I will be having a chat with him on Tuesday night, part of the On the Virtual Track podcast that we're doing here on JPB. So I'll find out what went wrong. But Tasky and Townsma not leaving each other alone at the moment.
No, definitely not. And Tasky just holding his line there ahead. Oh no, sorry, Tasky's behind, of Adam Townsma, who's in 11th. So there'll be more fighting between those. So just behind them is Enquires. Oh, you just see Tasky a little too deep there, and that'll cost him momentum and speed all the way down the back straight before 130R.
I love Eunice in YouTube chat. That was a huge kiss. It was in the Rowlands incident, of course, and Eddie Amos. Tasky again. You can't overtake off that side of the circuit, dear sir. You're going to have to try and do it on track. He knows he can't do it there. Austin Baldwin is having a nice little side-by-side moment with Oscar Artignano. There's somebody in behind him, weaving frantically. I do wonder if that's Jonathan Cazorla in behind him there. I think it is. And, oh, not doing it so far. Sean's in his own little freeway situation at the moment as Giovanni Solito. And behind them is that Andy? No, it's Giovanni Solito in front. Sean's at the back and Carlos Ferreira is in the front. So action's still taking place, but it's just weird that action is outside of the top 10. They've almost kind of line astern in the top 10. We might get a little bit battle out of Taylor and Ben Goyet. Ludovic Rancon is in the wall.
In the wall, James. Yeah. He's had a spin as Ransom. We'll get a replay to find out how he's managed to do that. Gets out on the curb long before Degner 2. And yeah, that's him into the wall there, and that's effectively his race done. There's too much damage to that machine.
Yeah, but we've still got Teskey. Mehmet Teskey there in behind Ngayan. So we'll find out how these guys can fight this one out. Ranson is in behind Townsman now. But this is side-by-side action currently with these two drivers. Taski's gone and... Wow! He literally cleared Ngayan and Rancon going into Spoon.
Yeah, and that's because... Ngayan got almost boxed in by Ransom because Ransom was just trailing around with the damaged front wing there. I don't know if he suffered a puncture as well by hitting the barrier, Ransom. So... That'll be him off into the pit lane at the end of this up, I'd have thought, because there's no way he's going to be able to find performance with the way the car is behaving. So Tusky up into P11, then continuing to see personal best lap times being posted at this stage of the race. 149s we are seeing. I think the best time we saw in qualifying, James, was something like a 146 or 147, if I remember correctly. But you know, it is what it is in terms of the lap times in this race, because the track has cooled down since qualifying. Ranson in the pits for repairs. He'll probably come out in front of where Yekad Olszewski is, well ahead of Olszewski, so he'll probably rejoin where Pulsifer is. Although he's come out of the pit lane very, very quickly, actually, as Ranson, so he's not lost as much time as I thought he was going to do. He's down to 18th position.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, but still, 18th is not really as amazing as we hoped. Ben Goyet is now chasing down Scott Taylor. Jonathan Cazorla has had an incident. The racing is getting, the battling's getting outside of the top 15 at the moment, which is quite a surprise considering the amount of racing we have had. But it seems to be whoever ties up in a battle or an incident, they end up losing time. And then it's now, you know, it's coming back, isn't it? It's like a... oh, what's the thing you squeeze together that makes a musical noise?
It's like a dog's toy or something like that.
No, there's the instrument. The hops. Oh, I can't think of what it's called. But it's like that. They basically come together, and then the guy at the leader of the pack goes and escapes up the road. And at the moment, that's kind of what we got going on here. You know, the guy at the front of the pack is escaping up the road, and this is what's happening because now Ben Goyet, Scott Taylor trying to go side by side. Goyet does go through. It's even happening with Taskian and Ngayan. They're getting further spread out. Now, what has gone on with Max? Because whatever went on with Max, Luca Varani has overtaken him.
Yeah, was that down to us? He's already been off,
yeah.
James. Yeah, he's already been off at turn 2, and that's why Varani had got ahead. So we're going to see why Invictus had gone off the circuit. Does he catch the curb? You just saw the car straighten a little bit after the first phase of the steering into the corner, and that's what threw him offline and upset his momentum into turn 2. And now he's going to have to fight with Invictus, but he's locked up into Degnan 2 there, and so Invictus really beginning to struggle. I think he's very much learning the ropes here in this championship. It may be quick over a single lap, but in the race where it matters most, you know, he doesn't exactly have the smoothest kind of driving style compared to the others.
Yeah, unfortunately for Max, not ideal, but I'm sure he'll come back and keep fighting and giving it a good old go. So we'll keep an eye on what Max can do from this moment. Don't forget, if you are cheering for your favourite driver, let us know. We will try and bring them up on screen for you. Ben Goyette still got Scotty Taylor in behind him. Scotty there's going to try and move his way as much as he can forward. He's up 11 places. He, in fact, is not the highest because a shower has got to go to Paul Distilly down in 17th place. He is up 14 places at the moment here, Tom, which is an exceptional run when you think about it.
It has been absolutely so, and it could only get better from here, I should say, for Paul Distilly, who's running in 17th position. Can he go up even higher compared to where he's at? Hats off also to Scott Taylor on his performance so far, as he looks to get by Ben Goya in the near future. There's a battle going on between Richard Van Veen and Bernardin Ayan for position. 7th position it is between those two. So Scott Taylor's dropped back now from Ben Goya, so we can go to the battle involving Van Veen and Ian, because that battle is intensifying as we speak. But right now, Jimenez's margin is 1.8 seconds. He's not exactly pulling away, but it feels like he's managing the tyres as the race reaches its conclusion, or he's about to reach its conclusion. And then Ian behind Van Veen then for P7. This is the closest battle we've got on circuit as far as we know. We've had a lot of retirements in the race so far as Van Veen, Ian goes off the circuit there. Needs to be careful he doesn't pick up any slowdown penalties or whatever. We've had Leonard O'Sherry out, Stefan Dodder. Oh, there goes Richard Van Veen locking up into the hairpin. That'll only encourage Ian even more. I'll come into the retirements very, very shortly, but this is the battle we want to be focusing on. There's Ian looking to the inside on the approach to Spoon Corner. Van Veen allows him to take the inside line. That was a smooth overtake from Ian, but that was heavily contributed by Van Veen locking up into the hairpin.
Definitely was. And Loris Berla. Is it Berla? That's not Berla. That is Olezwinski.
Back mark. Yeah, it's a back marker, James. He's had a spin, unfortunately, it's Olezwinski, and that just sums up his day, unfortunately. Getting in 24th position. So we've had Leno Sherry out, Stefan Dodder, Patrick Rowlands, Theodore Tomov, Clark Williams, Johnny Casola, Eddie Amos, and Jakub Owzuski, who's running in 24th and last place. In fact, I think Eddie Amos is circulating around the circuit, so he may well pick up some points out of this after all. But Ian up into P7 ahead of Richard Van Veen.
No, he is at the moment for Baird and Ian, but he has got Van Veen closing in on him. As we said, this is the closest battle. The front is starting to come back together. Simon Fessi there is only a second back at the moment from his teammate Denny Cornu. I wonder how much they're going to continue to fight, of course. But other than that, the Ian and Van Veen situation is still materialising, and they're still scrapping with each other. But Van Veen seems to be just being able to, you know, come and try and put Ian under pressure, but Ian's kind of soaking it up and letting Van Veen just do his thing back there.
And Owzuski back in the pits, probably to get the tyres changed. He'll continue on his way. Yeah, we're not seeing battles out on circuit then. You can see on the timing side with the yellow intervals, that indicates how close the cars are to the car ahead of them. But yeah, we're not really seeing anyone making any drastic moves right now. It almost feels like they're just consigned to finishing where they are currently.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the thing. We're this late in, you know, that's what they've chosen to do. I think it's a really interesting situation for these guys because they're not really going anywhere. You know, you're not really doing anything at this moment in time from where you are. And Paul Distilly, just as I bigged him up for telling how well he's actually done, it ends up all going a little bit wrong for Paul. Oh, you're going to go around here, son. Too quick. Way too fast. And unfortunately for him, he does go round. Does he lose positions? Well, he does, but he's down. He's still up at 11 on his debuts. Kenzie Neuhoff is just past Scott Taylor. So Neuhoff moving his way forward into 13th there. Still down 8 places from where he qualified, of course. And unfortunately for Kenzie, it wasn't the greatest start ever in the world, to be honest with you.
Well, we're going to see a replay here. This is Kenzie Neuhoff, who has gone. Is that the one on the first start?
Yeah, that's how he ended up farther down. He had to go all the way back to the back. That's the thing, because everybody was trying to, you know, he can't come back on. He's just got to sit there and wait. And I think that's why this recovery back to 13th looks more impressive, because he was right at the back end. He was as far back as he can go, and that's what makes it look more impressive for Kenzie Newhoff, is the fact he's gained positions really in hindsight, and he's sitting in 13th. So fair play to Kenzie. He could have given up like other people had.
Well, Cornu's made a mistake coming out of spin, and that's going to allow Fessy to close in within the slipstream. He won't go for it into 130R, but on the pit straight, yeah, I think he'll probably get by him. We've got a retirement potentially, I think, with Enquires dropping out, James. We'll find out exactly what's happened to him, because I think he may well have had an accident on circuit. We'll find out. Well, we'll stay with this battle for the time being, and then we'll come to Enquires very, very shortly. But this is Fessy closing in on Cornu. Is he going to be close enough to send one up the, well, round the outside, maybe, because Cornu will go defensive, I would have thought. Well, he doesn't really need to go defensive unless Fessy sends one. Well, he goes down the inside of Fessy, and I think that was a little bit too generous from Cornu to allow him to go through like that.
Now, one of the things is interesting, because obviously, you know, we've seen team orders come out in races already this season in F1, and there was one with the Ferrari team this weekend. I'm just wondering whether the boys at Unity Racing have pulled the same kind of thing here. Because as you say, that feels very easy.
Well, we know Fessy comprehensively is the quicker driver compared to Cornu, and so he feels that Jimenez is within his sights, and that's why Cornu's allowed him to go. And going in the pits, James, do we have a reason to what happened to him?
No, I can't tell you. He literally just jumped back to pit lane.
Okay.
I've got a funny feeling, being the fact that I can't actually find him, it might have been just a flat-out disconnect. And that's why he's ended up back there. So he may be the first victim of the whole iRacing disconnection flag situation for Enquires. And so that might be the situation. However, this is one situation I can bring us at this moment in time, is poor old Bengoya. Wow. Oh my God.
He has a tank slapper through one, and that just threw the car around big time for Bengoya. It was always a slight tap into the wall. Hopefully not too much damage from that. But yeah, that was a very, very quick snap of oversteer on the way into 1 and 2. Cornu then, is he going to try and give his teammate a little bit of a bump draft? Because if he's maybe thinking about bump drafting, it might help his teammate give him a little bit more speed down the straight to go after Jimenez as we reach the final 6 laps.
I'd be very surprised if they bump draft, due to the fact that, you know, these rear wings are not destroying.
Fessy's gone round, James. He's spun at turn 1.
He has. Max Invictus has also gone. There was an issue there with somebody further up on that as well. Fessy comes into 1, just as you were talking about bump drafting. Ah, that's too hot. That's all on your own there for Simon Fessy. Then something went on back here, because Ridgeway and Invictus were swapping places at the same time. Did they do the same thing? Did he come back? No, maybe it might have just been an error as the fact that Fessy went plummeting down there. Unfortunately now for Simon Fessy, though, he's, well, still in 3rd. He managed to keep that 3rd place, so he had a big enough gap there.
Very, very, very lucky there for Simon Fessy with Luca Ferrari still only 2.5 seconds back. I wonder if Fessy will just want to just bring the car home now and get back some important points. Ben Goyet's been in the pits, James, for repairs, presumably, of the tap into the wall, and he'll probably ruin those tyres. Flat spotting them while spinning. And so he's continuing to drop back at the moment, is Goyet, so he's clearly struggling in this moment in time. Andy Flint moves up into 17th position, Runson up to 14th, looking to chase down Scott Taylor in the closing stages of the race. Not long to go now here at Suzuka, the opening round of Season 2 in 2025 in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights Championship. And Flint still does fancy a go on Pharaoh in the into the hairpin, I would have thought, but he almost drops it on the curb, doesn't he?
Flint there trying to keep that car on the circuit. We've got about 4 laps left of this race, and you can see at the moment Andy Flint is trying to recover after his big old moment he had earlier on, and then one that obviously blew his tyre. I personally think it's a massive dose of internet issues should we say. Yes, there may have been contact in the first place, but it did look like there was a massive dose of netcode in that one. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye out, see how far Flint can get up here over the next 4 laps. At the moment, he's recovered down 11, but he has recovered back to 17th. And this, again, is one of the closest battles on the racetrack as we're coming into 130R.
Yeah, so here's Flint, and he's definitely got more pace than him compared to Ferro, so he should dispose of Ferro very, very swiftly here. Does he do it into the Castillo triangle? Goes to the inside. Ferro leaves the door open, and Flint just doesn't hang around, and he goes past. I think that move was coming all along. Fessy continuing to drop back now, James. He's had another moment. We'll find out what exactly has happened to him. He's had a disaster last couple of laps, and yeah, he's really, really struggling in the closing stages.
Yeah, he is, unfortunately for Simon Fessy. I wonder now, though, if he's just driving beyond the limits of what he's doing. And I do wonder whether or not that's the situation with Simon Fessy. But, you know, unfortunately for him, that's racing, isn't it, in general? And he's been off, well, looks like he's been off a couple of times here. Whoa.
Into the barrier goes Simon Fessy there. It was a light tap, but it was enough for the front wing to come away from the car. He's trying to get going again there, isn't he? Is he back on circuit? No. I wonder if he's struggled to turn into the next corner. Yeah, you can just see the steering's gone all funny. Otherwise, he'd be traveling at a higher speed. Oh, yeah. You can just see, yeah, the car doesn't want to turn in. It's all broken, the front suspension. And that is Fessy's race run.
It definitely is. However, Ben Goyette's race is still alive, and he's got Giovanni Solito in front of him with literally just over 3 laps to go. Your leader is coming into Degner 1 and 2. There's Tony Jimenez at the moment, which is a great run from Tony. So fair play for Tony on that one, doing an absolutely stellar job sitting there in the lead. And I think it's been quite a while since Tony has actually won a race. I can't actually remember the last time he did win a race. That's really got me inquisitive of when Tony Jimenez last won a race. It wasn't at all last season. It must have been the season before that, which would be 2024 season 4. Did Jimenez, he finished second in the championship. He didn't win a race then to be either. So when the Nora did Tony Jimenez last win a race?
I'll allow you to find that out as Ben Goyette's dropped back from Solito in their own tussle towards the end of the field. So we've lost Enquires from this race. I think he's still circulating, actually, is Enquires. He is. Simon Fessy we've lost, obviously. Johnny Casola is out of the race. Theodore Tomov is out. We've also lost... who else have we lost? We've also lost Yakodov Zuski, Clark Williams, Patrick Rowland, Stefan Donnerer, and Leonard O'Sherry. I'm seeing that there's 22 or 23 cars still circulating. Fessy's actually back on the circuit now, so make that 24. He is in 21st place, is Fessy, and just looking to pick up some points, given there's only a few laps left.
He hasn't run a race since season 2 in 2024, and even then he didn't win a race in season 2. That's as far as I can go back at the moment. So season 2022 has been almost a year since Tony Jimenez has won a race in IGP.
Astonishing fact.
That is insane. Isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Tony Jimenez is on his way to victory. He's got a comfortable 3-second margin over Denny Cornu. He just needs to make sure he doesn't do anything daft in the closing stages, which we have seen before from some drivers. Andy Flint posted another knee fastest up of the race whilst running in 15th position. Has he got enough time to go after Oscar Artanano? We'll see on that one. But yeah, it's been a captivating drive from Tony Jimenez from start to finish. Just no mistakes. I think since he got by Max Invictus in the early stages, James, he's just not put a foot wrong, has he? No,
it doesn't look like it. And this is going to be what is potentially his first win for over a year and a bit, by the looks of it. I'll be interested to see if that is right, but by the looks of what I've just gone back in the order, that is right. However, Townsman and Tasky are back together, and it seems like these two are not leaving each other alone as we're going to be heading on to lap 25 of 26.
Well, this is the closest battle we've got on circuit, so we may as well just stay with this for the time being. Tasky trying to get by Talisman. This is a brilliant battle. Talisman's done a great job today. He's up higher than we thought he was going to be, and Tasky, well, he just sends him down to 10th place. Tasky making a solid overtake almost, although it's not over yet because Talisman feels that there's still more in than what we've just already seen. There's Tasky. Does he go to the outside? Well, you can just see Talisman changing his line there, and Tasky just follows in through turn 1.
Yeah, he does at the moment there. Tasky just staying there. Couldn't get Townsman this time. Townsman inside the top 10. I think that's Townsman's highest place finish for a while as well, if I'm not mistaken. But at the moment, wow, Tony Jimenez is going to absolutely go out and celebrate this one, because it does look like he is going to go in the lead. He's coming into Spoon now for lap 25. He's going to have one more. Tasky coming into Degner 1 there. How's he going to get on? Degner 2, you're too shallow! You're too shallow!
Far too risky. Far too risky to do it at Degner 2. He did very well to slow down there when he was lucky that Talisman left him room. And does he go for it into the hairpin? This is a more designated spot there for Tasky. But the problem for him is that because of the nature of the corner, if you're on the outside on the racing line, you have more traction and better speed. And that's what's got Talisman back in front of Tasky again.
I think that he was way shallow, like far too shallow going in there. And unfortunately for Tasky, he jeopardized his exit. But Tony Jimenez takes the white flag here and is away at the moment. He's going to have his first win, for at least a year. Let's put it that way. As far as we're aware, it's at least a year, and he's only got one more lap to go. Tasky's got one more lap to have a go at Townsburg. Round the outside of Casio. You're not going to hold it. You aren't going to hold it. Far too deep there for Tasky.
Yeah, too deep, and he locks up as a consequence, and that won't do his tyres too good. And now Talisman looking to defend. Is he going to do the same as what he did last time? He does. It's just whether Tasky decides to surprise him into the first corner here. He's way too far back. So he remains behind for the time being, but he is running out of opportunities here. A kick of oversteer into turn 2, and I think that will be all the buffer that Talisman needs between now and the checkered flag.
Yeah, it does look like it was all done, unfortunately for Tasky. Ben Goyette is having a right little scrap with Giovanni Solito side by side coming into 130R. Goyette there does manage to get the job done over Solito. I don't think Solito's going to make it easy for him, but it does look like he's got the job done at the moment. Your leader on the run down the back stretch. We'll keep an eye on this going into turn 1. These will get here into turn 1 before the leader goes through 130, but Giovanni Solito's got to look at coming back at him now. Here we go, over the line. Solito, where are you going to go? He's left you the door. The door is literally about as wide open as you want it there, mate. Giovanni Solito does not go through, but Tony Jimenez is going to come over the line. He's going to celebrate his first win for what has been, by my records, well over a year. Well over a year. Tony Jimenez takes the victory. Round 1 in Suzuka for the SRP racing team. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to be happy for the man. His first victory in over a year for Tony Jimenez. Tom, he's got to surely celebrate that.
Yeah, it deservedly so. And what a drive it's been from Tony Jimenez from start to finish. Denny Cornu, hats off to him, in second place from where he had started. From 4th place on the grid, Luca Ferrani from 9th to 3rd, and Rob Ridgway from 12th to 4th. It's been a brilliant day for those with brilliant racecraft. And, you know, Maxim Victor's on debut in 5th place. What could it have been for him? He'll have been taking some points. Ludovic Ranson got by Scott Taylor on the last lap to 12th place, unless Taylor's got something to respond to that. But no, Ranson has made the move stick, and he's going to bring home some good points from where he was earlier.
Yes, however, stick to the inside, mate. Oh, to be fair, to check a line, I forgot it's quite close. Giovanni Salito, Ben Goyet are going to have their battle all the way down the back stretch, coming into 130 yard. There's a spitter mud on the outside from Goyet. He's taken that way faster than probably he really wanted to. Salito, what are you going to do? Are you going to dive him? You're not. Goyet's got in deep. That's got to allow Salito an opportunity. Is he going to be able to get his nose alongside, coming down to the line for Giovanni and Ben Goyet? His nose to tail. Goyet hugs the wall. Oh. Ben Goyet gets it there as well. He hugged the wall tighter than his favourite grandma there, Tom, didn't he, that time, to make sure he could get through.
Yeah, well, that was a nicely clean battle between those two. And what a race it was for them. And for Tony Jimenez, who will be celebrated long into the night. I think everyone has crossed over the line, James. So we should see a final classification of the result of this one here at Suzuka.
Yeah, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Jimenez's first win in well over a year. That is no easy, that's not a joke, that is true. Denny Cornu in second, Luca Varani in third. Great run from them guys. Robert Ridgway gets all the way up into fourth, up 8 places. Stunning run from Ridgway. Don't change your livery, mate, it's clearly that. Max Invictus unfortunately had a bit of a good start and a rough few laps after and ended up down in 5th. Then you got Bairden Ayan, who's up 4 places, and then Loris Berla, who's up 12, one of the highest gainers in this evening's race. Richard Van Veen, Adam Townsman, Mehmet Teske, Kenzie Newhoff, Ludovic Rancon, Scott Taylor, Andy Flint and Oscar Artinanu round out the top 15. Great recovery from Flint there and Newhoff, who both had incidents on lap near enough lap. Well, Newhoff's was lap 1. I think Flint's was lap 5 or something, and he ended up going down the order. So great job from them. Then you've got Carlos Ferreira, Ben Goyet, and Giovanni Salito. Great run to the line, guys. Absolutely amazing. Paul Distilli was having a good race, then got caught up in an incident, but he still gained 12 places. Austin Baldwin, Simon Fessi, rough one. Sean Pulsifer down in 22nd. Then Eddie Amos and Ngayana, Jonathan Cazorla, 6 laps down behind that. That would be the last ones with Tomarov, Olezwidzki and Clark Williams. In behind that was Patrick Rowland, Stefan Dodder and Leonard Cherry. They all got caught up in incidents, as we saw. If that's the opener, Tom, what's the rest of the season going to be like?
Well, hopefully more of it. Maybe a little bit more action than what we had today, but it's been a solid start to the season. I think the driver's just happy to get the ball rolling here for the new season. I know it's been like a couple of weeks ago since the finale of the previous season, but it's on to Portimao. I don't think I've commentated on Portimao on iRacing before. I know I have on the F1 game cycle, but not on iRacing. So that'll be something new for me to learn about. But yeah, I think the drivers are raring to go for Portugal next week.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out on that one as well. Well, much love to everybody that's come out and joined us in YouTube chat. Don't forget, if you are watching it back, like, subscribe, turn on the bells. That will be absolutely amazing. But that's going to wrap it up. Join us next week as we are heading to Portimao. I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Tom Cairns. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.